gracious. Now I have a lot of pressure. I was actually born in Kenya, and I came to the United States in 2006. So I was in second grade, trying to get into third grade. And so my parents moved us here for a better education and a better chance at life. And so I had always known I'd go to university. And the University of Minnesota had always been on my mind ever since I was a child. I would hear about experiments that were being done at the U. When we learned about the state apple, the Honeycrisp apple, I learned it was made at the University of Minnesota, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever as a child. And so I always had an idea to come to the University of Minnesota. And so throughout high school, especially my junior year of high school, I started looking more seriously into the university, and I was, down to 2 colleges because I really liked science, but I also had a passion for the social sciences as well. I really excelled in my social studies classes, in my history classes, and as well as my biology and chemistry classes. And I needed to find something that would combine the two really well, and that's why I ended up in CLA. I found my major, and I was so excited when I was graduating high school because I felt like I would be able to study what I've always wanted to study in my life. Because biology provided me with an explanation as to how the world worked, but then social studies helped me better understand how people worked, which I have found to be so important because we live in the world with people. It's not like we're communicating with animals all the time. And so it was really important to me to find that balance and know how to be a better member of society by being able to give people information and as well as finding that information through science. Within the College of Liberal Arts, I am able to take classes that are very analytical, like chemistry and biology, but also take social science classes like philosophy and sociology, and even Kiswahili, my native language. And so I'm able to both get the skills like analyzing, data collection, how to interpret data, but as well as how to communicate with people, how to communicate with this data, knowing history and knowing background and context of why things are the way that they are. My major is in biology, society, and environment. And in this major, what I like to describe it as is the application of biology to human society. These two things within my major have really been able to allow me to better, switch in different situations, in that I'm able to be in a classroom filled with people who are doing just science, but also be able to be in a space where it's just humanities. And so being able to be kind of a liaison between the two and know how to communicate between the two and kind of mend the two worlds together has been wonderful because I'm able to communicate with a lot of different people on a lot of different topics. And so with this, I hope to go into the healthcare field. I really hope to become a pharmacist and be able to help people make better and informed decisions on what medication that they're taking. And hopefully also go back to my home country and really help the healthcare system there as well. There have been so many opportunities through CLA. My favorite one has been the ambassador program so far. With the ambassador program, we have an amazing advisor who's there for us, who's able to respond to our needs, and really prepares us for our future as well. I think my conversations with my advisor have definitely encouraged me and have pushed me towards the right direction and gaining more clarity as to how to use my degree in ways that I didn't know I could use it. And so that has definitely been the best opportunity that I've had. But also on top of that, CLA Career Services. And with CLA Career Services, what I did was when I wanted to get to know more about my major and the potential career paths for it, I actually emailed my specific major career services advisor. And she was a wonderful help. She was able to help me with my resume, get a better understanding of what to place there, like my skills that I've learned in my organic chemistry lab, for example, or something that I learned in statistics, like using the R program and how to kind of put that on paper to look like the best candidate that you can be. Because sometimes it can get overwhelming, like, oh, I have this opportunity that I did, or I did this last summer. Where do I put it? And she was able to help me with formulating my resume and putting everything that I had learned, really. And also on top of that, she also has events outside of career services that she puts on as well. Like one of them that I'll hopefully be attending is on taking a gap year and what that means, especially when you're going into a healthcare field. How do you optimize that year? And so I'm really looking forward to that event. But she's also hosted events for pharmacy students or students who are thinking of going into pharmacy school. And that event kind of showcased current human pharmacy school students, and as well as students who are thinking of it and were far along within the process of applying for pharmacy school. And we just had like a discussion on how to be a perfect candidate. Well, how to be the best candidate that you can be, and what kind of sorts of skills that you can gain as an undergraduate student before getting to the start of the process. I'm taking a pharmacology class, and my professor, I was able to have a conversation with him about the work that he's doing within his department, and he was able to tell me a little bit about his research on cancer cells. And for me, being someone that wants to go into pharmacy, pharmacology is very closely tied to pharmacy, and that's kind of the backbone of pharmacy, I would say, because how drugs function and how they work within the body is what kind of determines how we will be able to prescribe them, right? And so in speaking with my professor, I really wanted to go into research and development. After speaking to him and actually joining the National Society of Black Engineers, I was able to get a better understanding of what that job entails. And so my professor was able to tell me kind of how he progressed to get to where he is now. And within his research has actually been able to tell me exactly how he's been able to research through the university, because we never really talk about how, you have to get funding. Through funding, you have to get approval to even use something like salt. We never really talk about the nitty-gritty of what it means to do research and development and how much time it actually takes, because he was telling me that it took him 5 years to basically produce this paper that he's about to publish. And to me, that's a long time. That's a really long time. But in terms of other projects that have actually been ongoing for 20, 30 years as well, he gave me kind of a glimpse of what it means to be a researcher and kind of what to expect. And that has been so important to me, because that's what made me determine my gap year and what I would do during my gap year, because I knew that these skills that I've learned within the College of Liberal Arts of, analyzing, being able to write, being able to communicate as well. All of those skills are great, but there's also some other things that I actually don't know about. And so being able to learn where my gaps are, but not really gaps, I would say places that I need a little bit more boost in. My professor giving me that opportunity to catch a glimpse of what was coming ahead reminded me that I have time to optimize some of my skills before I apply to pharmacy school and before I kind of lead on to that path. Yes, this is the job I'll be walking into when I graduate. So I will be a category analyst for Best Buy starting in September. I'm really excited and very nervous, but I'm very open to this experience, because it will definitely be a way for me to better apply what I have learned in school. In the fall, I knew I was going to graduate, and so I started opening up my options in terms of where to find a job, because I knew I liked the work of biology, but I also wanted to make sure that I was keeping as many of my options as open as possible. And so I'd go to all these different networking events, from Wells Fargo to US Bank. And so with going to all these networking events, I remember calling my friend and telling her one of mine had ended. And so she invited me to go to a resume workshop. And so in this workshop, you would come, you would have your resume kind of reviewed by someone else who had been a graduate of the University of Minnesota and was working professionally for a company. I was like, that sounds like a great idea. I'm looking for a job. My resume needs a little brushing up, so let me just go. And so when I went there, it actually turned out to be a networking event, also with the resume workshop. And so I got to speak to Best Buy, and I was introduced to the recruiter by my friend. And she was telling me about how they had just opened one of their positions to include more people outside of your, you know, outside of your accounting majors, business majors, kind of trying to expand and diversify that part of the job. And so I was like, okay, so I read the description and it sounded like something I could do. It entailed a lot of different kinds of analyzing. And I know that in my chemistry classes, like we've done a lot of different things with data and just learning things in statistics that with R and how to interpret data, I thought maybe I could do this job. So I applied for the job. I got an interview, got dressed up. That was really fun. Went to my first interview and it was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for better. It really went well. And so I was able to get another interview, which actually took place at their corporate offices in Richfield. So I was able to go and visit campus and just see how everybody works, and did my second interview and they offered me the job. I remember crying that day because, when you remember all that you've been through and you remember, like, in that moment, I remembered coming in on a plane and I remember my parents telling me, like, oh, you will make a life here. Your life will be good. You'll get a better future. And that's all I could really remember. And it was really humbling. My friend and I were literally tearing up in the couch, like just sharing this story and just remembering just how hard my parents have worked for me to be here and all the efforts that everyone in my family has really made in order for me to get a better life. And so that was probably one of the best moments in my life, honestly. My parents have always taught me to just grasp at something, find more information about it, talk to who you can, search the internet, and really try and get the most information possible to make the best decision, but also don't let that be a hindrance to what's coming next. With my job, I know it's going to be tough in the beginning because it is different from anything that I've ever done before, but I'm so excited for all the different skills that I will learn, and also just being challenged. Being challenged is good because you grow. You grow a little bit here, you grow a little bit there, and you have more experiences to talk about, more advice to get from other people, and as well as really not hinder yourself from the potential that could be of what you can be. So I love trying new things, really. I actually went to Japan on a study abroad trip. Going to Japan was going to be a hard decision for me to make because it would put me back to how I was when I came to the United States, in that I didn't know the language. And so communicating with other people was very difficult for me. And also being surrounded by people I could not communicate with was extremely frustrating to me as a child because I'd literally just taken a plane to somewhere else that I didn't know. And so putting myself in that kind of environment was giving me a lot of anxiety, but that's the best decision I've ever made in my life. I loved every single moment of it. And being in Japan allowed me to better understand about myself, where I have come from, how far I've come, and all that growth that I've been able to maintain all these years being in the United States. In my culture, we love music, we love dance, we love sounds, right? But in Japan, it was just kind of like taking each day, taking each step, listening to the wind, seeing how the trees flow, and being a part of that harmonious circle of life. And so that really opened my eyes into something else. And I think that the program specifically really did kind of rejuvenate me into learning a different way of life and how to kind of incorporate all that I've learned from Kenya to Costa Rica to here in the United States and to Japan to live a more wholesome life. Yeah, going to Japan was definitely one of those moments where I just really kind of did it, College is about adventure. finding yourself and finding your passions. I think my college experience has been what I've made it to be. You have the freedom to choose what classes to take, what professors to take them with, what clubs to be a part of, and what organizations, where to work. And all these decisions really have made me have a very unique experience here. And that unique experience has come from a lot of support that I've been able to gain as I was here. And so with that, what I can say is that don't be afraid. Really, take chances. You have so much room to make mistakes and be able to fix them with the right resources, with the right people to talk to, in that this is the time to take your greatest risks in whatever major, in whatever class you want to take, in whatever study abroad program you want to go to. I think that this is the time to really make as many mistakes as you can and also learn how to undo them. The liberal arts experience is all about diversity. So diversity in different experiences and diversity in classes. So for me, I think I've definitely found a balance in both, where I have been able to diversify all the different student organizations that I'm a part of. Like I'm a part of Gold Standard Show Choir, where I'm the treasurer, and I'm able to, manage the money as well as perform with my friends, and also be a part of the National Society of Black Engineers, which is very heavy in STEM and also kind of engaging students who are in science, technology, engineering, and math as well. But I've also been a part of CLA ambassadors, where I get to meet new students, meet new prospective students who are looking into coming to the College of Liberal Arts. And so through all these different experiences, I've been able to learn different ways of communicating. I've been able to learn just a bit about something about life that has been very rewarding. So like with show choir, I'm able to do everything that I love. I love to sing. I love performing. With National Society of Black Engineers, I see myself in my future, what I want to accomplish and where I want to go. And with CLA ambassadors, I'm able to see how we can help and be able to give back to the community that I'm a part of. So being able to diversify my classes and my experience has definitely given me a very wholesome experience here that I can definitely say is all about liberal arts for sure. College of Liberal Arts is the key to the future, because we need to have leaders that are going to be innovative, but also know how to communicate. And how do we create spaces that allow people to better interact with each other? And I think that the College of Liberal Arts has really equipped me with the necessary knowledge to be able to do that. My name is Cynthia Mathenge, and this is my CLA story.